The evolution of mosasaurs is a remarkable journey from small land-dwelling lizards to the giant sea predators that dominated the oceans of the Cretaceous period. To understand how mosasaurs evolved, we need to look at their ancestors, starting with the earliest reptiles. Kegonaeus. It was a small aquatic lizard with a snake-like body and short limbs. It is likely that it was this animal that gave rise to all the ancestors of the Mosasaurus. Little is known about this lizard, so we immediately move on to the next ancestors of our main character. Euparkeria lizards, or Euparkeria. Euparkeria, which lived about 245 million years ago, is one of the oldest archosaurs, from which many groups of reptiles, including mosasaurs, evolved. These small reptiles were flexible and active hunters who could move on land and in water, which gave them a huge advantage in the changing conditions of the Triassic period. Although they were not yet specialized marine animals, their anatomy became the basis for the subsequent evolution of more specialized forms. Monitor lizards and Agama or Aigialosauridae. Approximately 100 to 95 million years ago, the first true ancestors of mosasaurs appeared monitor lizard-like reptiles from the family Aigialosauridae. These reptiles were significantly smaller than their mosasaurian descendants, reaching lengths of about 5 feet. They led a semi-aquatic lifestyle, hunting fish and small aquatic animals in coastal areas. Aigialosauridae had elongated bodies and jaws, but still retained well-developed limbs, which allowed them to move on land. Their skin was scaly, like modern monitor lizards, and they had strong, curved teeth for capturing and holding prey. Transitional forms. Dalahide or Dallosaurus. About 98 million years ago, Dallosaurus entered the evolutionary scene as one of the transitional forms between Aigialosauridae and the more specialized mosasaurs. This lizard was about 3 feet long and had more developed flipper-like limbs, which indicates its greater affinity for the aquatic environment. Dallosaurus was relatively small, but its anatomy shows important steps in the evolution of mosasaurs. The flippers became more suitable for swimming, and the tail began to turn into a powerful tool for movement in the water. These features make it an important link between terrestrial ancestors and later mosasaurs. Early mosasaurs. Cleidasts. Cleidasts, which appeared about 95 million years ago, were among the first true mosasaurs. They reached lengths of up to 13 feet and already had the characteristic features that made them effective marine predators: a long, flexible body, a powerful, bladed tail that helped them move quickly through the water, and flipper-like limbs. Cleidasts were active hunters, feeding on fish, ammonites, and other marine animals. Their jaws could move apart, allowing them to swallow large prey whole. This was an important adaptation that allowed mosasaurs to become the dominant predators in their ecosystems. Platycarpus. We spent all our time in the water, meeting even when we were aground. The swimming method was reminiscent of modern sharks. They ate various fish and cephalopods. It is possible that they acted like modern seals, prowling the approaches to the shore and chasing down frightened prey. Tylosaurs. Tylosaurs, reaching lengths of up to 50 feet, were among the largest mosasaurs and lived about 85 to 80 million years ago. They represented the pinnacle of the evolutionary development of mosasaurs, possessing all the necessary adaptations for life in the open ocean. Their elongated bodies and powerful tails allowed them to develop great speed in the water, and their teeth and jaws were ideal for capturing and holding large prey. Tylosaurs likely hunted everything they came across, including large fish, plesiosaurs, and even other mosasaurs. They were true sea giants, dominating their ecosystems. Mosasaurus, which appeared about 70 million years ago, became one of the last and largest representatives of the group. With a body length of up to 60 feet, it was one of the largest marine predators of all time. The Mosasaurus had powerful jaws capable of crushing even the toughest prey, and its tail was equipped with blades, making it an extremely fast swimmer. Mosasaurs lived in different seas around the world, from Europe to North America, and were likely at the top of the food chain in their ecosystems. Their ability to adapt to different environments allowed them to become one of the most successful marine predators of the Cretaceous period. Mosasaurs mastered various ecological niches. Some hunted large prey in the open ocean, while others preferred shallow water areas where they fed on fish and invertebrates. Some mosasaurs even specialized in hunting other marine reptiles, including plesiosaurs. Mosasaurs had unique anatomical features that set them apart from other marine reptiles. Their jaws could be expanded thanks to a flexible joint, which allowed them to swallow large prey whole. They also had secondary teeth on the roof of their mouth that helped hold onto prey until it was completely swallowed. Their fins, although evolved from limbs, still contained residual finger bones, indicating their terrestrial origins. These fins, along with a long tail equipped with fin blades, made mosasaurs one of the fastest and most maneuverable swimmers of their time. Unique adaptations and behaviors: shark-like teeth. Mosasaurus teeth were designed in such a way that they were constantly replaced with new ones throughout life. This gave mosasaurs a constant advantage in hunting, as they never lost their combat readiness. As soon as a tooth fell out or broke, a new one quickly grew in its place. Flexible jaws. Mosasaurs had a unique jaw structure that allowed them to move their jaws apart. This was similar to how a modern snake can stretch its jaws to swallow large prey whole. This adaptation allowed mosasaurs to cope with large marine animals such as fish, plesiosaurs, and even other mosasaurs. Acoustic communication. Some scientists suggest that mosasaurs may have used sound to communicate, much like modern whales and dolphins. Their skull structure may have allowed them to produce low-frequency sounds that traveled long distances underwater, helping them find mates or hunt in murky waters. Swimming at high speed. Despite their large size, mosasaurs were excellent swimmers. Their body was adapted for fast and maneuverable movement in water, which allowed them to hunt effectively and avoid danger. Their flexible tail and flipper-like limbs made them one of the fastest predators of their time. Interaction with other species. Competition with plesiosaurs. Mosasaurs shared their water spaces with other large marine reptiles such as plesiosaurs and pliosaurs. Although these species often hunted different prey, in some cases they could compete for food resources, especially when prey became scarcer. Cannibalism among mosasaurs. There is evidence that mosasaurs may have practiced cannibalism. The fossils show bite marks on the bones that match the teeth of other mosasaurs. This could occur in the event of a fight for territory, food, or while hunting for wounded or young individuals. Hunting for flying reptiles, mosasaurs weren't limited to underwater prey. They could also hunt pterosaurs, flying reptiles that probably sometimes descended to the water to drink or catch fish. Mosasaurs could suddenly surface and snatch pterosaurs out of the air. Physical features and species diversity. Variety of sizes and shapes. Mosasaurs ranged in size from relatively small species about 10 feet long to giant ones such as Mosasaurus, which reached lengths of up to 60 feet. This diversity allowed mosasaurs to occupy different ecological niches in marine ecosystems. Variety of teeth. Different species of mosasaurs had different tooth shapes adapted for different prey. Some species had sharp teeth for capturing fish, while others had more massive teeth for crushing hard prey such as ammonites and mollusks. Tail evolution. The tail of mosasaurs gradually evolved to become more suitable for swimming. Early mosasaurs had relatively straight tails, but later species such as Tylosaurus developed a distinctive vertical bladed fin shape, making them even more efficient swimmers. Geographical distribution and archaeological finds. Wide habitat. Mosasaurs have been found on every continent, including North and South America, Europe, Africa, and Antarctica. This indicates that they were an extremely successful group of marine predators, adapted to a variety of climates. Fossils of mosasaurs in Antarctica. One of the most exciting discoveries was the remains of a Mosasaurus discovered in Antarctica. These fossils show that mosasaurs lived even in polar waters, confirming their wide geographic distribution. Rare skin fossils. Rare skin impressions of mosasaurs have been found in some places, showing that they had scaly skin reminiscent of that of modern monitor lizards and snakes. This confirms that mosasaurs, despite their aquatic adaptations, retained the features of their land ancestors. Mosasaurs reached their peak at the end of the Cretaceous period, several million years before the mass extinction caused by a meteorite impact about 66 million years ago. This extinction event, known as the KPG, Cenozoic Cretaceous Boundary Crisis event, wiped out not only the dinosaurs, but also most large marine reptiles, including mosasaurs. This catastrophic event caused significant changes in climate and ecosystems, leading to the extinction of many species, including mosasaurs. Mosasaurs, like many other large marine animals, were unable to adapt to sudden changes in living conditions and became extinct. Legacy of the mosasaurs. Mosasaurs left a significant legacy in the history of the Earth. Their fossils have been found all over the world, from Europe to North and South America, as well as Africa and New Zealand. They occupied the top of the food chain in their ecosystems, and their disappearance left an empty niche that was later filled by other marine predators such as sharks and whales. The evolution of mosasaurs demonstrates how reptiles can adapt to completely new living conditions and become dominant predators in new environments. These amazing sea lizards remain one of the most fascinating chapters in the history of life on Earth, reminding us of just how diverse and dynamic the Mesozoic world was. Complete evolution of Megalodon. Megalodon is one of the most famous predators that has ever existed on our planet. In this video we will look at its evolution, starting with its ancestors, study the process of its adaptation to the environment, and find out the reasons for its extinction. The evolutionary history of Megalodon is complex and includes several key ancestors that gradually shaped its anatomy and hunting strategies over millions of years. These ancient sharks not only predate the Megalodon, but also played a crucial role in creating its unique characteristics. Let's look at the main ancestors of Megalodon, starting with ancient shark forms and ending with its closest relatives. Creation sharks are a group of predatory sharks that existed during the Cretaceous period, about 100 to 66 million years ago. They are considered one of the early ancestors of Megalodon. The most famous representative of this group is Cretoxorhina mantelli. Size and anatomy. These sharks reached 20 feet in length and had powerful jaws with sharp teeth. Cretoxorhina mantelli fed on large marine reptiles and fish. Role in evolution. Creation sharks were the first predators to display powerful jaws and teeth, which later developed and grew larger in their descendants. Otodus. The genus Otodus is considered the direct ancestor of Megalodon. These sharks existed from approximately 60 to 30 million years ago. The earliest species of Otodus appeared shortly after the Cretaceous mass extinction and occupied the niche of a large marine predator. Otodus obliquus. One of the most famous species of the genus, which lived in the early Paleocene, 60 to 55 million years ago. This species had large, wide teeth with sharp edges. The teeth of Otodus obliquus could reach a length of 4 inches, making it a formidable predator. Dimensions and behavior. Otodus obliquus reached 30 feet in length. Like Megalodon, Otodus hunted large prey, including marine mammals and large fish. Evolutionary transition. Carcharocles or Otodus. At a certain stage of evolution, the genus Otodus split into 2 key lineages, which led to the appearance of Megalodon. There is debate in the scientific community about the exact taxonomy of Megalodon, whether it is considered part of the genus Carcharocles or a continuation of the genus Otodus. This discussion is related to the structural features of the teeth and jaws of the ancestors of Megalodon. Otodus auriculatus. This species existed in the Middle Eocene, about 45 to 40 million years ago, and was the first in the chain leading to Megalodon. He developed serrated teeth, making his bite even more effective. Such notches made it easy to tear dense tissue and bones of large animals. Otodus angustidens. Lived in the late Eocene and early Oligocene 35 million years ago. Unlike its predecessor IKA, this species was even larger and had more curved and wider teeth. The serrated edges and powerful roots of the teeth allowed it to hunt larger prey, including early cetaceans. Carcharocles chubutensis. Carcharocles chubutensis is the immediate ancestor of Megalodon, which existed about 28 to 20 million years ago. This species of shark is considered transitional between Otodus angustidens and the Megalodon itself. Teeth structure. Chubutensis had teeth that were even larger and more massive than those of its ancestors, reaching lengths of up to 5 inches. The shape of the teeth resembled that of Megalodon, but with more pronounced lateral processes. Size and hunting behavior. C. Chubutensis could reach a length of 40 feet, making it one of the largest predators of its time. It is believed that it had already begun to specialize in hunting large marine mammals, such as ancient species of whales, which required its high speed and powerful jaws. The appearance of Megalodon and its characteristics. Megalodon appeared about 23 million years ago during the Miocene. This time was characterized by high sea levels and a warm climate, which contributed to the development of extensive marine ecosystems. The appearance and dominance of Megalodon is closely related to its adaptations to environmental conditions. Megalodon was one of the largest predators of all time, reaching lengths of up to 65 feet. It dwarfed the modern white shark, which typically reaches a length of 20 feet. One of the key features of the Megalodon is its huge teeth, which could reach 7 inches in length. These teeth were triangular in shape and had jagged edges, making them ideal for tearing the flesh of large animals. Megalodon's jaws were so powerful that they could generate a bite force of up to 18 tons, which is 3 times more than the bite of a Tyrannosaurus rex. This made Megalodon an effective hunter, capable of taking down large marine mammals such as whales and dolphins. Adaptations and lifestyle. Megalodon was an apex predator in the Miocene and Pliocene oceans. His adaptations allowed him to hunt some of the largest creatures that lived in the ocean during that period. One of its key adaptations was high speed. Scientists suggest that, despite its enormous size, Megalodon could develop decent speed, thanks to its powerful body and torpedo-like shape. A study of Megalodon fossils shows that it was distributed throughout all oceans, with the exception of polar waters. This indicates that Megalodon preferred warm waters that had enough food to support its huge body. Its main diet is believed to have consisted of large marine mammals such as whales, sea turtles, and other large fish. Megalodon could also be a cannibal. There is evidence that young individuals could become victims of adults. This is typical behavior for modern sharks such as the white shark, and may indicate that Megalodons were aggressive and territorial predators. Reasons for the disappearance of Megalodon. Megalodon existed for about 20 million years, but disappeared about 3.6 million years ago during the Pliocene period. There are several theories to explain its extinction, and it was most likely the result of a combination of factors. Climate change. One of the main reasons could be climate change. At the end of the Pliocene, global cooling began, which led to lower sea levels and cooling of the oceans. This made it difficult for Megalodon to access the warm waters that were necessary for its survival. Reducing food sources. Climate change has also had an impact on marine ecosystems. Megalodon depended on large marine mammals such as whales. However, during this period, many species of whales became extinct or migrated to colder waters inaccessible to Megalodon. This food shortage could have become a serious problem for the survival of such large predators. Competition with other predators. It is believed that modern shark species, such as the great white shark, began to actively compete with Megalodon for food resources. White sharks were smaller in size and could survive on less food, giving them an evolutionary advantage in food-scarce environments. Evolutionary changes in the marine ecosystem. During this period, the expansion of the range of smaller predatory animals began, which turned out to be more adapted to changing conditions. This could also have contributed to the displacement of Megalodon from its ecological niche. Fossils and scientific research. All we know about Megalodon is based on fossils of its teeth and fragmentary remains of its spine. Since the cartilaginous skeletons of sharks are poorly preserved, scientists do not have complete remains of Megalodon. However, using its teeth, it was possible to reconstruct its size and behavior. Megalodon teeth are among the most recognizable fossils. They have been found all over the world, from North and South America to Europe, Africa, and Asia. These findings help to understand the distribution of Megalodon and its evolutionary relationships with modern sharks. Modern studies of sharks, such as the white shark, allow scientists to speculate how Megalodon hunted and what its behavior was. Some techniques, such as studying bite marks on whale fossils, help reveal how Megalodon interacted with other marine predators. Legacy of the Megalodon. Megalodon remains one of the most impressive examples of predator evolution in the ocean. Although his time has passed, he left a deep mark on culture and science. Its giant teeth and legendary status continue to attract the attention of scientists and marine life enthusiasts. Modern sharks, such as the white shark, retain many of the features of Megalodon, although they did not reach such gigantic sizes. These species continue to occupy key positions in marine ecosystems, playing an important role in maintaining the balance of nature. The evolution of Megalodon is a fascinating story of adaptation and dominance in the oceans over millions of years. Its sudden disappearance about 3.6 million years ago reminds us of the fragility of existence of even the most powerful species. Megalodon continues to capture people's imaginations and serves as a reminder of the majesty of the ancient oceans. The complete evolution of Predator X. Known as one of the largest and most fearsome marine predators of the Jurassic period, Predator X, Pliosaurus funke, belongs to the family Pliosauridae. Its evolution represents a long and complex path of adaptation and change that has shaped the unique characteristics of this reptilian giant. Let's look at the evolutionary line of Predator X, starting with its ancient ancestors and ending with the development of the anatomical and behavioral features that made it the apex predator of its time. The first plesiosaurs, Plesiosauria. Pliosaurs, including Predator X, descended from a group of plesiosaurs that emerged during the early Jurassic period, about 200 million years ago. Plesiosaurs were an early group of marine reptiles that included both short-necked, pliosaurs, and long-necked, traditional plesiosaurs, members. A typical plesiosaur. Most early plesiosaurs had long necks, small heads, and massive bodies, making them slow hunters that swam through the water and captured small prey. Their teeth were adapted for capturing fish, and their long necks allowed them to hunt in kelp beds and maneuver around obstacles. With increasing size and changing habitats, some species of plesiosaurs began to develop a tendency to shorten their necks and enlarge their heads. This process led to the emergence of a new type of marine reptile, the ancestors of pliosaurs. The first pliosaurs, Pliosauridae. The first representatives of the Pliosaurid family appeared about 180 million years ago in the mid-Jurassic period. They differed from their long-necked relatives by having shorter necks, large heads, and long bodies, which gave them a number of advantages in hunting. Laernulaer. One of the most famous early representatives of pliosaurids, existing about 160 million years ago. Laernulaer reached a length of about 25 feet and was an active predator, capable of hunting other large reptiles and fish. It had powerful jaws and large teeth, making it one of the first large pliosaurid predators. Cymolestes. Another early pliosaur that hunted during the Middle Jurassic period, approximately 165 million years ago. It had a relatively short neck, large head, and teeth that indicated its ability to catch large fish and other reptiles. The appearance of pliosaurs marked a transition from slow and maneuverable hunters with long necks to powerful, fast, and aggressive predators with short necks and massive skulls. Transitional forms of pliosaurs. Crocodile-like ancestors. The evolution of pliosaurs from plesiosaurs included several transitional forms that showed gradual changes in body structure and hunting strategies. Thalassiodracon. One of the earliest ancestors of pliosaurs, living about 200 million years ago during the early Jurassic period. Thalassiodracon had a relatively short neck, but still not the massive jaws of later pliosaurs. Peleonoustes. Peleonoustes appearing about 170 million years ago, this pliosaur had a more massive body, a short neck, and powerful flippers that allowed it to reach high speed. This indicates that during this period pliosaurs began to specialize in active hunting and an aggressive attack strategy. These species became key ancestors that laid the foundation for further increases in size and strength in subsequent pliosaurs. Late Jurassic pliosaurs. Increase in size and adaptation. During the late Jurassic period, about 160 to 150 million years ago, pliosaurs began to increase significantly in size and came to dominate marine ecosystems. They became the largest and most formidable marine reptiles of their time. Pliosaurus cavani. Pliosaurus cavani, one of the closest relatives of Predator X, which existed about 155 million years ago. Pliosaurus cavani reached lengths of up to 40 feet and had massive jaws with conical teeth, allowing it to hunt large prey. Pliosaurus brachyderus. Another representative of the genus Pliosaurus, which exhibited all the major adaptations of large pliosaurs. Powerful flippers, short but massive neck, and large teeth. These traits indicate high specialization in hunting large marine reptiles such as ichthyosaurs. Evolution of Pliosaurus funke. Predator X. Pliosaurus funke or Predator X appeared about 150 million years ago. Its anatomy shows a combination of all the key adaptations that its ancestors developed over millions of years. This name stuck with it after its discovery in 2006 in Norway, due to its impressive size and predatory habits. Predator X was a member of the pliosaurs, a group of carnivorous marine reptiles that reached enormous sizes. We'll look at its origins, major evolutionary steps, anatomical adaptations, feeding strategy, and reasons for its success in ancient oceans. The appearance of Predator X, Pliosaurus funke. Pliosaurus funke, or Predator X, was discovered in the Svalbard archipelago in Norway, where fossils of large marine reptiles were found. This pliosaur received its nickname due to its enormous size and potential danger to surrounding marine life. Dimensions: Predator X reached a length of about 40 feet, and its skull could reach up to 8 feet. This made it one of the largest marine predators of the Jurassic period. Bite force: research has shown that Predator X had a bite force comparable to or even superior to that of a Tyrannosaurus rex. His jaws could generate pressure weighing about 15 tons per square centimeter, which made them capable of crushing the bones of large marine reptiles or even the shells of turtles. Teeth: Predator X had conical teeth with smooth edges, indicating the ability to capture and hold slippery prey. This distinguishes it from Megalodon, whose teeth were serrated and better suited for tearing flesh. Adaptations and hunting behavior: Predator X's main feature was its unique combination of strength and speed. Its massive body was adapted for powerful forward thrusts, and its 4 large flippers allowed it to make sharp maneuvers and attack prey with unexpected speed. Hunting strategy: Predator X was an active predator that hunted large marine reptiles such as ichthyosaurs and other plesiosaurs. His hunting tactics could consist of sharp attacks from ambush, when he unexpectedly pounced on prey, breaking its bones and making it impossible to resist. Visual and olfactory abilities: its skull and orbits indicate advanced vision, which allowed it to effectively track prey even in low visibility conditions. It is also assumed that it had good olfactory abilities, which made it an even more effective predator. Range and competition: Predator X lived in the warm waters of the seas that covered much of Europe and North America. Its fossil remains found in Norway indicate that it lived in vast oceanic areas where significant migrations of various marine reptiles and fish occurred. Competition: Other large predators were present in its habitat, such as other species of pliosaurs, ichthyosaurs, and early sharks. However, Predator X dominated due to its size and powerful jaws, which made it virtually invulnerable to most competitors. Disappearance and change of ecological niche: Predator X lived during the late Jurassic period, approximately 150 million years ago, when marine ecosystems began to undergo major changes. During this period, there was an extinction of many species, including large marine reptiles. Climate change in ecosystems: Climate change has altered ocean temperatures and sea levels, affecting food chains and migratory routes of marine animals. The emergence of new predators: At the beginning of the Cretaceous period, new groups of marine reptiles began to appear, such as Mosasaurus, which were highly maneuverable and adaptable to different conditions. This caused significant competition for resources. The gradual disappearance of small and medium-sized marine reptiles, which constituted the main diet of Predator X, was one of the reasons for its extinction. Ecosystem changes have led to that he was unable to adapt to new conditions, and his ecological niche was occupied by new predators. The legacy and significance of Predator X. Predator X is one of the most impressive examples of a marine predator from the late Jurassic period. Its evolution from small plesiosaurs to the giant pliosaur demonstrates how changes in anatomy and adaptation to the environment can lead to the creation of an ideal hunter. Ecosystem role. Predator X was the top of the food chain and played an important role in controlling the numbers of other marine reptiles. His impressive size and strength made him the personification of evolutionary success. Paleontological significance. The discovery and study of Predator X fossils has allowed scientists to better understand not only the evolution of pliosaurs, but also the general principles of the evolution of predators in Mesozoic marine ecosystems. The evolution of Predator X is the fascinating story of the evolution of small reptiles into the most powerful marine predators of their time. Its enormous size, bite force, and anatomical adaptations made it a true ruler of the oceans, but changes in climate and ecosystem ultimately led to its extinction. Today, its legacy is preserved in the form of fossilized bones that tell us about a time when giant predators such as Pliosaurus funke dominated the seas. Complete evolution of Sarcosuchus. Ancestors of Sarcosuchus. Evolutionary path from ancient Archosaurus to super crocodile. Sarcosuchus is the impressive result of a long and complex evolutionary history that began more than 200 million years ago. To understand where this giant came from, you need to trace its ancestry, starting with the earliest representatives of Archosaurs, ancient relatives of crocodiles. Let's look at the key ancestors of Sarcosuchus and their evolutionary path. Archosaurs, the beginning of history. Archosaurs, or ruling lizards, are a group of diapsid reptiles that arose during the late Permian and early Triassic periods, about 250 million years ago. They were the common ancestors of both dinosaurs and crocodiles. Unlike older reptiles, Archosaurs had a number of adaptations, such as improved quadrupedal locomotion and a more complex respiratory system. One of the distinctive features of Archosaurs was the structure of the skull with the presence of an antorbital fenestra, an additional opening in front of the eyes. This lightened the weight of the skull and may have played a role in regulating brain temperature. The ancestors of Sarcosuchus were a branch of this vast group, which split into two lineages. One lineage leading to dinosaurs and birds, and the other to crocodilomorphs. Proto-crocodilomorphs, first steps towards Sarcosuchus. Some of the earliest crocodilomorphs, such as Protosuchia, appeared in the late Triassic, about 210 million years ago. These reptiles were much smaller and less aquatic than modern crocodiles. They were more like fast land predators with long hind limbs and a relatively short body. Protosuchians were only about 1 meter long and probably hunted small animals. Their snouts were narrower and their teeth more varied, indicating a wide range of diets. They lived primarily on land, although they could spend part of their time in the water. These early crocodilomorphs did not have the specialized features of Sarcosuchus, but they laid the foundation for later evolution into giant aquatic predators. Mesosuchia and Notosuchia. Transition to an aquatic lifestyle. During the Jurassic period, about 200 million years ago, crocodilomorphs began to adapt to an aquatic environment. Mesosuchia and Notosuchia are two important groups of crocodilomorphs of the time that made significant contributions to the evolution of aquatic crocodiles. Mesosuchians were among the first crocodiles to adapt to life in water. Their bodies became more streamlined, and their limbs became shorter and stronger, making them excellent swimmers. Unlike their terrestrial ancestors, Mesosuchians had nostrils located closer to the top of their heads, which allowed them to breathe while remaining almost completely submerged in water. Notosuchus were a diverse group, including both aquatic and semi-aquatic forms. Some members of this group, such as Simosuchus, had very unusual appearances, with short snouts and teeth indicating an omnivorous diet. They likely occupied unique ecological niches in their habitats. Telecrocodilomorphs, immediate ancestors of Sarcosuchus. By the mid-Cretaceous period, about 130 million years ago, crocodilomorphs began to appear, which may have been Sarcosuchus's closest relatives. Thalattosuchia were a group of crocodilomorphs that included both marine and freshwater forms. They had more elongated and narrow skulls, and their bodies were well adapted for swimming. These reptiles were predators that hunted fish and other marine life. Some members of this group, such as the Geosaurus, had jaws reminiscent of those of modern gharials, indicating their adaptation to catching slippery prey. Geosaurus is a genus of marine crocodilomorphs that lived during the late Jurassic and early Cretaceous periods, approximately 150 million years ago. They belonged to the group Thalattosuchia and were well adapted to life in the sea. Geosaurus had a streamlined body, short limbs, and a powerful tail, reminiscent of the tail of modern marine animals, which made them excellent swimmers. One of the most noticeable features of Geosaurus was their narrow, elongated jaws, equipped with sharp teeth. This morphology indicates specialization in hunting fish and other marine life. Despite their similarities to modern gharials, Geosaurs were more active marine predators and were likely higher up in their food chain. Phallodosaurs, prototypes of giants. Among the ancestors of Sarcosuchus, Phallodosauridae deserve special attention. They were among the largest and most unique crocodilomorphs that lived during the late Cretaceous period. Phallodosaurs reached lengths of about 30 feet and had long, narrow jaws full of sharp teeth. These reptiles lived in rivers and lakes, hunting fish and possibly other aquatic animals. Morphologically, Phallodosaurs were very similar to Sarcosuchus, especially their skulls and jaw structure. Scientists believe that Sarcosuchus was likely closely related to this group, possibly being a direct descendant of one of their representatives. The appearance of Sarcosuchus. The crown of evolution. Sarcosuchus appeared about 130 million years ago and was the result of millions of years of crocodilomorph evolution. It combines the best adaptations of its ancestors. Giant size, powerful jaws, streamlined body, and the ability to hunt large prey. These traits made Sarcosuchus one of the most formidable predators of its time. Conclusion: the evolutionary path to Gigantu. The evolution of Sarcosuchus is a story of adaptation that began with the first archosaurs and progressed through many stages. Its ancestors, from terrestrial crocodilomorphs to specialized aquatic predators, represented a diversity of forms and survival strategies. This complex evolutionary chain led to the emergence of Sarcosuchus, one of the largest and most powerful crocodiles to ever exist on Earth. Sarcosuchus, also known as the super crocodile, was one of the largest crocodilomorphs to exist on Earth. This prehistoric giant lived about 110 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, and reached impressive sizes, surpassing most modern crocodiles. The appearance of Sarcosuchus was noted in the Cretaceous period, approximately 130 million years ago. He lived in regions that are now the territory of the Sahara. At that time, this region was covered with vast rivers and swamps, creating ideal conditions for the life of large aquatic predators. Sarcosuchus was notable for its enormous size. Adults could reach lengths of up to 39 feet and weigh about 8 tons. Its skull reached almost 2 meters in length, and its jaws were equipped with sharp teeth that could bite through even the thick skin of dinosaurs. Anatomical features of Sarcosuchus. One of the most noticeable features of Sarcosuchus is its huge skull. This skull was long and narrow, allowing it to quickly slam its mouth shut on prey. Interestingly, Sarcosuchus had a kind of bone hump at the tip of its snout. Scientists believe that this hump could be used to enhance the sense of smell or for communication between individuals, possibly during mating season. Another feature of Sarcosuchus was its teeth. They were cone-shaped and very strong, allowing this predator to cope with the toughest prey, including armored dinosaurs and large fish. The remains of Sarcosuchus also show that it had powerful neck and jaw muscles needed to hold and tear apart large prey. Food and hunting. Sarcosuchus was the apex predator in its ecosystem. Its diet included both fish and land animals, including dinosaurs that came to drink. Thanks to its enormous size, Sarcosuchus could wait for prey near the shore, remaining almost invisible. When the prey got close enough, it lunged forward, capturing the prey with its powerful jaws. Sarcosuchus likely used a hunting strategy similar to modern crocodile hunting, but with much greater force and scale. Sarcosuchus and its habitat. During the Cretaceous period, when Sarcosuchus lived, the territory of modern Sahara was covered with dense forests, rivers, and swamps. It was a rich and varied world, home to various dinosaurs, fish, and other reptiles. Sarcosuchus played an important role in this ecosystem, maintaining the balance of fish and land animal populations. Its presence near bodies of water influenced the behavior of other species, causing them to be more cautious. Disappearance of Sarcosuchus. Despite its remarkable adaptations, Sarcosuchus disappeared approximately 110 million years ago. The main reason for its extinction is considered to be climate and habitat change. The rivers and swamps in which he lived began to dry up, which led to the disappearance of his usual environment and food sources. Along with it, many species of animals dependent on the same ecosystem disappeared. However, some features of Sarcosuchus and other crocodilomorphs have survived millions of years and are present in modern crocodiles. The legacy of Sarcosuchus. Sarcosuchus left behind an amazing legacy. It is one of the most impressive examples of how reptiles could have evolved to become dominant predators in their ecosystems. Modern crocodiles have inherited many traits from their ancient ancestors, including an efficient way of hunting and the ability to adapt to different conditions. Although Sarcosuchus is extinct, its existence helps us understand how ecosystems and predators have changed over millions of years. Conclusion: Sarcosuchus as part of evolutionary history. Studying Sarcosuchus provides scientists with valuable information about the evolution of crocodile-like reptiles and ecosystems of the ancient world. This giant predator represents one of the extreme examples of how reptiles could adapt to their conditions and become some of the most dangerous creatures of their time. Today, when we look at modern crocodiles, we can imagine how their ancient ancestors, such as Sarcosuchus, hunted in the waters of ancient rivers, setting their own rules in the prehistoric world.
When the universe created our Earth, it took this issue seriously. The planet has become more than just a piece of rock that rotates in millions in space. The Earth has become home to billions of living organisms. And in order for all these organisms to coexist on the planet, a natural balance appears. Of course, this balance was not perfect. When the universe was in a bad mood, it sent huge meteorites to Earth that destroyed 90% of all the inhabitants of the planet. And it all started again. It took millions of years for the Earth to once again boast a diversity of flora and fauna. This continued until us. This will continue after us. In the depths of the world's oceans, where light does not penetrate and the silence is only broken by the sound of the surf, lived the prehistoric giant shark Megalodon. Megalodon, the giant shark of ancient times, possessed majestic power and undeniable magnificence. The terrible and insidious shark had no equal. The name Megalodon is a proud abbreviation. Megalo means great. Don means tooth. The teeth of the ancient shark, the remains of which we find in modern-day reefs, were truly amazing. Such huge teeth easily crushed the bones of the most massive creatures in the sea. Imagine a huge creature swimming in the dark depths of the ocean. Its dimensions are not inferior to those of a giant sperm whale or even a blue whale. However, unlike the latter, Megalodon is not a peace-loving creature that does not hunt various inhabitants of the marine fauna. The blue whale, with its graceful manner and peaceful nature, poses virtually no danger to other marine life. But Megalodon, being a predatory shark, hunted differently. Its sharp teeth and powerful jaws are designed to attack and destroy anything that comes its way. Megalodon knows no mercy. His hunter's instincts are awakened by the sight of potential prey. The bite force, beyond imagination, reaches an astonishing 110 kilonewtons, which is equivalent to the weight of several cars. But could a big mega swim so serenely across the endless expanses of the oceans? There were several marine animals that overlapped within a short period of prehistory with Megalodon. This is Melville's Leviathan, a huge toothed whale that could pose a threat to the Megalodon. And it's hard to say which of them presented lunch at the meeting. Everything depended on the circumstances. This is the size and age of the opponents, and also the number of individuals at the meeting. Sometimes a family of megalodons would attack a lone leviathan. And sometimes several whales pinned a giant shark in the corner, another opponent who could fight back against the megalodon. In the depths of the ancient oceans, where darkness envelopes everything around and only distant rays of light shine through, looping through the thick curtain of water, there lived a creature that evoked awe and horror even in the most daring inhabitants of the underwater world. Sarcosuchus. This mysterious predator of the ocean spaces. There's something of a killer whale about him. Grace and cunning that make him an even more dangerous opponent. Although Sarcosuchus is small compared to the leviathan, its powerful jaws and sharp teeth make it no less dangerous. His body length reaches about 23 feet, but this is only a disguise for his true strength. They hunt in packs, coordinated and mercilessly, leaving no chance for even the strongest prey. If a lone megalodon appeared on the path of a school of these small whales, then it could end sadly for the latter. Confrontation, ancestor of the gharial crocodile. With an impressive length of 60 feet, this beast surpassed even the most fearsome predators of its time. The name Confrontation sounds like a mighty thunder. And in fact, it was a creature without equal in its vastness. Unlike the Megalodon, whose form represented the strength and thunder of the ocean, Confrontation was a secretive predator striving for greatness and dominance in its world. Its advantage over the Megalodon was its mobility and speed in the water. Thanks to these qualities, he could maneuver deftly, catching his prey and avoiding danger. Its teeth were ideal for hunting large fish, and its terrifying appearance could freeze even the most courageous opponent. The greatness of the ancient predators Megalodon, Sarcosuchus, and Confrontation captures the imagination, because they stood at the top of the food chain of their time, ruling the waters and instilling fear in all who dared to cross their path. Archaeological finds, as impressive as they are, often leave many gaps in our understanding of these ancient monsters. Complete skeletons of these creatures practically do not exist, and this is especially true of the Megalodon, the king of all predators of the deep sea. Most often, archaeologists discover only fragments and remains, among which Megalodon teeth are the most common find. These huge and powerful teeth are a reminder of the merciless nature of this predator, but other parts of its body, those on which other, stronger predators might have left their mark, have not yet been discovered. The Mosasaurus is a symbol of ancient power and strength, the embodiment of survival in the ruthless world of the Cretaceous Sea. This ancient predator was truly a terrifying sight. Its huge jaws and sharp teeth made it a deadly machine, and its menacing appearance terrified even the bravest inhabitants of the ocean. The Mosasaurus was a merciless hunter whose diet could include any sea creature. Paleontologists suggest that the diet of Mosasaurus was diverse and included different types of animals. He hunted bony fish, sharks, cephalopods, birds, and other marine reptiles. Even other mosasaurs could not feel safe, because this predator was ready to attack them mercilessly and without hesitation. But there was a predator that could resist the Mosasaurus. Brahvinii. Brahminia were the arbiters of the laws of the waters, possessors of formidable strength and the ruthless nature of predators. Their enormous size and powerful limbs made them unsurpassed hunters, capable of doing anything to catch their prey. This sea monster, reaching a length of up to 40 feet, was very dangerous for the Mosasaurus. Its powerful jaws and sharp teeth made it a deadly opponent for anyone. Hunting in the depths of the ocean, he pursued other sea creatures, sparing no one in his path. The discovery of the remains of Brahmius is like a link in a chain that turns our understanding of the world of antiquity upside down. We previously believed that mosasaurs were the only rulers of the Cretaceous seas. But the appearance of Brahminia forces us to reconsider this point of view. This giant suggests that pliosaurs may have survived the Jurassic period and continued to exist, roaming the oceans in search of prey. Although mosasaurs clearly drove them out of certain areas and left them in a vulnerable position, it is important to note that pliosaurs did not disappear from the face of the earth. These majestic predators lived side by side with mosasaurs, creating a unique balance in the world of sea creatures. The kings of the seas and oceans were forced to coexist with each other and were clearly the most malicious competitors, probably with each other. Dunkleosteus, sea king of the Devonian period. This ancient giant was the ruler of the sea. Woe to those who stood in his way. Its greatness can only be compared with the legendary tyrannosaurs of land. But Dunkleosteus was the king of the water element, where the shark's neighbors seemed only helpless fish. Its enormous size and strong jaws made it an unrivaled predator, capable of doing anything to achieve a successful hunt. Dunkleosteus was the embodiment of fear for all who dared to fight him. This giant fed mainly on cephalopods, but if an inattentive fish came across its path, the predator could bite it too. In the ancient seas, the only one that could match Dunkleosteus in strength and size was another, even more formidable Dunkleosteus. These creatures practiced cannibalism, leaving no chance even for their fellow creatures. The clashes between two giant Dunkleosteus were both magnificent and tragic. Powerful jaws filled with sharp teeth fought for supremacy in the aquatic struggle for survival. Each of the predators strove for the top of the food chain, ready to do anything to prove their strength and power. Some of the most ferocious sea creatures that ever lived on the planet were the sharp-toothed ichthyosaurs. Ichthyosaurs were the absolute rulers of the seas of their time, not succumbing for a moment to any enemies or dangers. Their powerful bodies and sharp teeth allowed them to easily dominate the aquatic environment, and the lack of natural enemies contributed to their rapid development and evolution. This absolute chaos in the seas allowed the ichthyosaurs to flourish and evolve, creating impressive forms and adaptations that made them even more powerful and fearsome. They were animals devoid of any natural rivals. Laernulaer, one of the most popular species among pliosaurs. This predator ate everything that could become its prey. Sharks, clams, plesiosaurs, and many other sea creatures. Laernulaer had no equal at that time. He was the consummate warrior of the ocean, devoid of any enemies except his fellows. Analysis of the behavior of modern species occupying similar ecological niches confirms that cannibalism may have flourished among Laernulaers. In a world where food was abundant and competitors were few, Laernulaer could not only hunt prey, but also feed on its fellows when there was nothing to eat. Another pliosaur that could boast of strength and powerful build. This is Kronosaurus, inhabitant of the early Cretaceous period. Despite its enormous size, the teeth of Kronosaurus were not admired. Contrary to expectations, each of them was only a few inches long and possessed only a small degree of the lethal cutting edges characteristic of more advanced marine reptiles, not to mention prehistoric sharks. It is believed that this pliosaur compensated for its lack of sharp teeth with a deadly powerful bite and the ability to pursue prey at high speeds. Once Kronosaurus had a firm grip on a plesiosaur or sea turtle, it could roughly shake its prey and then easily crush its skull like an underwater grape. Well, who could hunt such a giant as Kronosaurus? Recent scientific discoveries in the field of paleontology have recorded amazing evidence of the clash of ancient monsters. Paleontologists have discovered Kronosaurus bite marks on the skull of an Australian plesiosaur known as Eromangosaurus. However, despite the evidence discovered, it remains a mystery what happened to this further as a private being. Whether the plesiosaur died after being attacked by the Kronosaurus or continued to exist with a horribly deformed head remains open. An ancient marine predator of insects and arthropods known as Echolopterus reigned on Earth about 400 million years ago. This amazing creature, who became the arbiter of the laws of nature in his era, was ready to swallow everything that was smaller in size, including his fellow creatures. Growing to an impressive 8 feet in length, Echolopterans had powerful, spiked claws with which they caught their prey. Experts suggest that these monstrous arthropods, armed with their claws, waited for their victims and then instantly attacked, tearing them to pieces. Research into Echoloptera helps us better understand the evolution and diversity of life on our planet. This unique animal has left its mark on history, reminding us of how vast and great nature was even millions of years ago. Triassic. The ancient waters were home to creatures remarkably similar to modern eels, known as nothosaurs. Their memorable appearance made nothosaurs prominent representatives of the world of prehistoric fauna. They were impressive in size, reaching lengths of up to 23 feet, and had unique adaptations for life in an aquatic environment. The main distinguishing features of nothosaurs were their paddle fins and webbed feet, which allowed them to develop high speeds in the water. These powerful body parts allowed nothosaurs to move and hunt effectively in an aquatic environment. Their sharp, needle-like teeth and powerful jaws made them dangerous predators. Nothosaurs were able to easily tear prey apart, providing themselves with the necessary nutrition. But still, even for such an animal, there were more dangerous predators. These were different types of ichthyosaurs. Larger specimens like Shanosaurus could come into conflict with an inattentive Nothosaurus. We still don't know how it all ended, but rather nothing good. Another representative of the Triassic period, Mastodonsaurus. Unlike its marine counterparts, this creature lived in swamps, lakes, and river deltas. The appearance of the Mastodonsaurus forced all aquatic inhabitants to reckon with it. The teeth were so gigantic that they did not fit into the mouth. The great Mastodonsaurus was a relative of common frogs. But this did not stop him from causing terror in his element. The only enemy of this predator was drought. If a swamp or lake dried out, the great mastodonsaurus simply died from dehydration. Thank you for watching our episode to the end. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And also click on ring the bell so you don't miss new and interesting videos from the Real Unreal channel.